how can you check to see if you have cavities? Dr. Nate here at Thrive Dental Orthodontics, and the CDC states that 1 in 4 adults ages 20 to 64 likely have at least one active cavity. And the National Institute of Health says that roughly 90% of adults will have at least one cavity in their lifetime. And the average amount of cavities is roughly around 4, but it varies a lot from 0-ish to pretty much on every single tooth. So what are the signs and symptoms of a tooth cavity? I'm going to walk you through this right now, and I'm going to show you how you can check for cavities on your own. So I have actually done this myself. I have a smartphone, an iPhone, and I took a picture of the top of both of my teeth. And if you do that, there's some few things you can see on your teeth to see if you have cavities. Now, once again, this is not a replacement for an actual dentist, but if you look on those pictures, if you see any darkness in the grooves, or there's any pits in those grooves on the tops of your teeth, or even on the sides of your teeth, that is a very, very good indication that you may have some cavities. So I like that one the most because you can take a picture and you can visually see it. At our offices, every single patient gets pictures of the teeth so they can visually see it too. So that I feel like is the easiest way to see if you have cavities, but there are some other signs and symptoms of cavities. The obvious one is toothache and pain. If your teeth are aching, that is a very good indication that you likely have some cavities. Actually, if it has gone to this point where it hurts, it actually hurts, that probably means that cavity is actually really big. It's probably went from a cavity, it may have gone from a cavity to just a small filling to a root canal or crown. So when you can actually feel the toothache and you're like, oh my gosh, that really hurts, that's likely a pretty big cavity. If you have mild sensitivity or moderate sensitivity when you're eating hot, cold, or sugary stuff, that's also a pretty good indication that you have a cavity. Also, do you have pain when you bite down on something? That can be a cavity. That can actually also be a fracture, which is a whole lot worse than a cavity. I'm not gonna get into that right now, but if you're biting down on something and you have pain, you can have possibly a cavity. There's a couple other things that may not be cavities, but they're really bad. If your teeth are mobile, you know, you push on them and they're really mobile, that may not be a cavity, but that is likely gum or periodontal disease, which can actually be worse than a cavity. So that is not quite a cavity, but that is something good for you to look for as well. And then lastly, this is the worst. If you have pus anywhere, you have like this little pimple looking thing, pustule thing, that is definitely a cavity. Actually, it's probably gone so bad. It's probably a cavity that started on the top of your teeth, went through the whole tooth, and actually came out through the gum. So that's definitely not just gonna be a filling. That's definitely gonna be a crown and root canal. So you're like, Dr. Nate, okay man, I took some pictures of my teeth. I know I have cavities. I can see the dark staining. One of my tooth has like this little pustule thing coming out of it. What do I do now? And really the only thing to do now is go see your dentist. That is the answer. You gotta go in to see your dentist because they can either do a filling or a crown or a root canal, something that's gonna get you out of pain and help you keep these teeth longer. Because if you don't go in soon, if you see the starts of a cavity and you can feel it, then you have such a better chance of keeping your teeth long term. If it's gone to the place where there's these little pustule things coming out or the teeth are broken down, then it is going to be way more expensive. It's going to take way more time and effort, and the results won't be quite as good. So if you see these cavities, if you see the starting of cavities, get them filled. It's so much cheaper, so much easier than waiting long term. And on that note, if you have good PPO insurances, you won't have to hopefully pay that much because offices are willing to work with you, especially right now. So if you do have lots of cavities, I would highly recommend getting some affordable PPO insurance, and that can help drastically reduce your costs. So once again, it's Dr. Nate here at Thrive Dental and Orthodontics, and I hope you got some value from this video. Now you know if you have a cavity, and you know what you need to do if you have a cavity. So once again, I'm putting out videos every single week. If you had any value in this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.